Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Grow Up Already. I'm Altea. Today is an advice episode, Agony, Altea. It's a parody of Agony and anyways. And we have as guests Lula, Lollipop, and for a little while Anna too, who was in the last episode. So I hope you enjoy.
I am so alone. She's not desperate at all.
Please.
How do you get so many bitches? Please explain this in relation to your cultural background. Let's talk about how to get over someone.
Okay, how I always get over someone, which is kind of toxic, is rebound.
I mean, yes.
Valid. Like, you need just a cute little rebound, and then one that you can just forget about. Also, like, it can't be a rebound that you get emotionally involved in.
We had this conversation when I was trying to get a rebound from my ex-boyfriend, remember?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this guy's like such a good rebound. I told you. Psyche was not a good rebound.
He did not end up being a good rebound.
Yeah. But then
But it's because you got emotionally involved with him.
Well, what? I don't see how that was emotionally, but okay. I think that rebounds are really good to get over someone. I think the best way to get over someone, personally, if you've been in a relationship, is no contact. Like,
yeah,
I was against this, and then I was for it, and then there just came a point where I, in my past, in my youth, had to just ignore a person and leave them on red. And you know, that happens.
That's
sometimes.
also moving on, though, you know? So,
yeah. And also, letting yourself be sad. Like, pretending that you're fine and not letting yourself be sad does not help you move on.
How do you think you can get over someone? Because,
let's see.
How do you get...
Let me ponder.
Let's see. How do you get over someone...
She has no clue.
How do you get over someone who you haven't been in a relationship with, but who you like, and who's dating someone else?
Okay, I think...
Wait. So, it's someone that you like, but they're dating someone else?
I feel like if they're dating someone else, it becomes a little bit easier. Because then, you know, there's no what if. Like, there actually isn't a chance, in a way.
Oh.
You know? So, there's no questioning what if we were together, because there's no situation in which you would be together in this present moment because they're with someone else.
But also, it might hurt a little bit more just because they are with someone else. Like, seeing someone you had or have feelings for with someone else is so rough.
Yeah, it also depends if you were friends before. Maybe you were friends with both of them. That makes it even harder.
Yeah.
But
like, why would you... Okay, no shame to anybody, but you should not get attached to people in relationships. And I feel like that's also the fault of the person in the relationship, because why would you, like, lead on somebody knowing that you're in a relationship?
Yeah, like,
I think when you're also trying to get over someone, it's also, I mean, like Anna said, you have to make sure that you let yourself feel sad and, like, let yourself feel the emotions, because otherwise, you know, it's kind of hard to get over them.
I disagree.
Okay.
Coming from a fairly... How would you say this without saying toxic?
What? Toxic is a good word.
No, but, like, coming from a fairly, like, unhealthy person when it comes to relationship habits.
Everyone's still learning.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I don't let myself get sad over guys, like, in general. Like, I will get sad as in, like, I would get sad as to, like, how the situations make me feel. But I will never, like, I don't really like to get sad over,
Okay.
Or, like, over losing, like, a specific person. And if you weren't in a relationship with them.
But I don't know. I feel like there's a point in a relationship, like, in a breakup that you've had for a relationship. Like, if you've been together for a certain amount of time, like, you do need to grieve that person. Like, they were such a big part of your life for years.
That's an exaggeration, actually.
How?
Well, if you're in a relationship, you said, no?
Yeah, for years. And then you, all of a sudden, they're cut out of your life.
It's also because
you definitely have to grieve.
Fully cut out. Because even with, like, losing friends, you also have to grieve losing the friendship.
But I feel like in a friend breakup, it's so rare that you just break up. like that you just like cut them off completely. Like slowly you drift, and then maybe there's like a fight and you stop talking. But like I feel like in a relationship it can go from like everything's perfect to like cut off.
Right.
That's never happened to me though. Like actually, yes, it has. Let me tell you about my first boyfriend.
How old are you?
I was 13.
Okay.
So it wasn't a real boyfriend.
Very relevant.
Yeah.
It wasn't a real boyfriend, but the story was like relevant. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was totally in love with this boy. I was not, obviously, but
You thought you were.
yeah. No, actually, I didn't. Like
Okay.
I thought I loved him, but then the guy was like,
Just laugh.
no, but the guy was like, oh, I'm totally in love with you, and I said, what the fuck are you talking about? You're 13 years old. What?
You were a mature 13-year-old.
No, because like
yeah, I love you too.
but no, because I said like, oh, I love you, whatever, and then he would text my friend and be like, oh, I'm so in love with her. Like, shut up, what the fuck? But okay, and then we were doing good, whatever, but we wouldn't hold hands romantically. We didn't even kiss. We just wouldn't hold hands romantically.
Did you guys talk to each other at school and stuff?
Every day. We were
Okay.
best friends.
Okay.
I would sneak my phone into my room to talk to him.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So we didn't like hold hands, and we lived super close to each other too.
Mm-hmm.
But like we didn't hold hands, and that for some reason like caught in my mind, and I was like, bro, like we don't like hold hands. That's like that's what boyfriend and girlfriends do, you know? They hold hands. Like that like started bugging me. So I told the girl, she was like, oh, you need to break up with him. And guess what the bitch did? I broke up with him. I broke up with
over that?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah, no, and I was like for me, like other people's perception used to be super important, like until like last year. But yeah, what my point is, like, we were talking about this with Emma before, right? Like, you can't really get over anybody ever. That's what she says.
There's always a part of you that has like a place for them.
No, there's a history with that person. I don't agree with that. Like, you have a history with a person.
Yeah. But the history is always with you.
Right,
Yeah.
but the history of the Spanish Civil War is not always with me, you know?
But that
not
doesn't
something that you
correlate to
experienced.
you.
Did you
The-
live through the Spanish Civil
No,
War?
but for example, the history of the COVID pandemic isn't with me all the time.
Yeah, but it definitely affects you in ways that you don't understand. Or maybe they're not conscious, but it definitely affects you. Like, I know it affects me. Like, there's people that I met during COVID or, like, didn't meet during COVID that probably would have had a big impact on my life.
In a way, I think you shouldn't let yourself get attached enough to a person to the point where you can't get over them. What are you doing?
Keep talking.
To the point where you can't get over them. But, like, it's obviously normal that you get attached to a person. So, in the end, even though this is not really, like, helpful advice, I would say, like, try to, like, detach yourself from the person as much as possible when you realize that, like, when you've either broken up or you realize that you can't like this person. Okay, next question. Advice on when to say I love ya in a relationship. Okay. So,
Personally, this is a hard one for me.
have you ever said I love you in a relationship?
Yes, in 2 relationships.
How many have you had?
Like 2 serious ones.
Okay.
2 ones that I said I love you in.
Have you ever said I love you to someone that's like romantically involved with you?
No. But back to what you said about your first boyfriend, about saying like I love you. It wasn't a real boyfriend, but when I was 10, I was in line at the cafeteria, and he was technically my boyfriend. He came up behind me and he said, I love you, and then he ran away. And then I went up to him and I was like, what did you say in line? He was like, nothing. But I knew what he said. So,
Ooh.
Oh my god.
but I've never said it. And
So
that doesn't
Luna's
really
getting
count.
play.
Risen up all those boys.
10-year-old Lula was getting some.
We have to get her on this podcast.
Ooh, 10-year-old Lula, come the fuck back. Give us some advice. Okay. No, I think, you know, there's definitely a time frame where you can and you cannot say I love you to a person.
Yeah.
Like, for me, let's take, for example, a friendship. a friendship where you say I love you.
I feel like you can tell a friend that you love them pretty quickly.
Well, how I didn't. Okay, I love Lula,
I love Altea.
but I didn't say I love Lula until that one time I had that mental breakdown before my political science midterm.
Yep, and I made her an egg.
She made me an omelet, and I
Yeah.
started crying. And then I was like, I'm so happy to have Lula.
And then she
That's what
wrote
I
me a
said.
note.
And then
left
yeah.
it in the bathroom so I could see it when I woke up.
Guys, Lula and I are lovers.
That's the real topic of today.
Yeah. Hidden assumption.
Right.
No, but like, obviously I wasn't about to tell Lula like I loved her like the first month here, because like you can't really have a connection
Yeah.
that deep with a person. But also I think like I wouldn't be able to say I love you to like, this is all friendship, like we'll talk about relationships later, but like I wouldn't be able to say I love you to people from my hometown even though I've known them for like a long time.
Yeah, that's why I feel like time kind of doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, you can know people for a really long time and not love them like that in a real way, and you can know people like for a few months and love them.
Yeah.
So now talking about relationships.
This one's hard.
Yeah, because okay,
This one's a bit
let's
harder.
talk. Cause,
So,
'cause-
Altea, have you ever said I love you in a relationship?
I have.
Did you mean it at the time you said it?
every time I've said it, I've always had the question of, do I mean it, in the back of my mind.
Right. Like, do you think that it's a question of do you mean it or not, or did you actually like? Do you think that feeling wasn't strong enough to be considered love?
Like, she's being a therapist. Like, okay. So for me, I definitely love the person in the sense that I love you.
Mhm.
Like I had like a very deep care for the person.
Mm.
But I don't like, for me, love personally is so abstract. This is why I say I keep saying like there's no way love can be like something that you base like your life on, or like that you like spend like 10 years with somebody because you love them. Like that's impossible, because it's like such an abstract feeling, and it can come and go like so fast. And also when you feel it, you don't even know you're feeling it, because like you don't know what you're supposed to feel. Because like happiness, you know, you're supposed to laugh, you know, you're supposed to cry if you're sad, but like what are you supposed to feel if you're in love?
I kind of disagree. Like, I feel like, at least in my, like, the first time I told a guy I loved him, I think I was just kind of like, it was like my first serious relationship. But like the second time, I think I definitely meant it, and I knew what I was feeling. Like, I feel like it is an active feeling that you're feeling. And I feel like maybe if you didn't feel that, then maybe you didn't love them. Like, for me, it was very, like, obvious.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I loved them, I knew it immediately.
Because I've been told that if you love a person, it's because, like, all you can think about is, like, them. And, like, you care for them, like, not all you can think about is them. But, like, you think about them and, like, you care for them in, like, the sense that you, like, don't want anything, like, bad ever to happen to them. Like, like there's no, like, any ounce of jealousy in you towards them. But, like, I don't know how you can...
But I feel like that's also for friendships too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So
I think it's the same thing. Like, when
Yeah.
you know you love a friend, you know, and when you know you love a partner, you also know.
yeah, but also there's like romantic attraction with partner,
Yeah.
whereas with friends, I mean there might be, but there typically wouldn't be. That is
Yeah.
a factor to loving them.
Let's talk about time frame.
Yeah, time
'Cause-
frame is important.
I think it's pretty obvious to say that you can't say I love you within the first month and a half.
Of knowing them,
That's
or being
yeah.
in a relationship.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Okay.
Okay, so I was just talking to a friend of mine about this, and she told me that she told her current boyfriend that she loved him after less than a month of just like talking, like not even dating, just talking.
Okay.
And in my last relationship, I told this guy that I loved him after 2 weeks of dating.
Oh.
I mean, they both
Super healthy.
they both worked out pretty well.
Okay.
But okay.
I feel like that's kind of fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also like it's different because it depends on, like, for example, here I feel like in UCU you get to know people so much quicker, and you're spending like 24 hours with them. And if I spent 24 hours with like virtually like any guy, I'd eventually like unless they were like annoying, like I'd eventually like from contact you get to love people, you know.
But also, like, I feel like now that I'm in more adult relationships, like, I feel like I question how quickly you can say I love you. Like, looking back on those old time frames, I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah,
that was quick.
yeah.
But also, like, when, like, I also feel like there's a time where you're taking too slow. Like, at a certain point, it's like you're just not admitting it.
Yeah, but
I don't know where that line is.
yeah, cause you like, okay, so say you've been talking for a guy for 2 months.
Like, you've been dating or talking?
Okay. And then you're like, imagine you've been seeing the guy like not dating, but like hooking up or whatever with the guy, or like in a situationship with the guy. You've been in it for like a month, but you were talking for a month before, and then you say I love you. Like, is that too fast? Because I'd say it is, but also at the same time you've known them for like 2 months.
I think maybe feeling it and saying it is a bit different. So if you feel it at that point, like, it's normal because you'd spent like a good amount of time with them, I guess.
Yeah.
But then if you say it and like maybe you don't have that trust because you're not in like a committed relationship or anything like that, like, it might be more vulnerable saying something, because maybe the other person is seeing this more as a casual thing and they're not trying to develop feelings or like thinking about developing those types of feelings. So
I also think for me, like, the difference is the severity of your relationship. Like, this guy is just a situationship, so I feel like for me personally, I would feel like it was too fast to say I love you after 2 months. But if I was dating someone for 2 months, I don't think it would be too fast to say I love you.
Yeah,
like, because it's a difference in commitment over those 2 months.
Yeah, I agree with what Lula said about it being a question of like trust, because like if you're in a committed relationship with someone, you're obviously gonna trust them. And like, you know, coming from a person that doesn't, like, I trust people but I don't rely on people, I'd say, like I've, like, it's what you said, like, it's really vulnerable. So if you say I love you to someone, I feel like you're giving them so much control over your emotions, like, in a way, like, you're like basically saying like right now you could do whatever and I would still like care for you.
So I think like the factor of vulnerability is really important when considering saying it or not.
So yeah, I would say no sooner than 2 months.
But 2 months in a situation of being in a relationship, I think that's a good time.
I'd say being in a relationship 1 month.
1 month.
I've been told I am loved after 3 weeks.
But you felt like that was rushed, no?
Well, everything in my past relationship was rushed. Like, no, because, like, we talked for, like, a month, but nobody knew we were friends. So, like, it didn't really count because we only talked through text. What?
I don't know. How do you talk to someone for a month and no one knows you even?
Yeah, I mean, in that way, it also matters, like, how long you've known the person. Like, if you've known them for, like, a year, and then you started, like, oh, maybe I have feelings for someone and this person, and then you start getting to know them in, like, a romantic way, maybe it's a bit faster because you already know the person, so you already have a base.
Yeah, I think it's different from, like, friends to lovers.
Yeah.
Because, like, you already love them as a friend.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're already, like, halfway there. You just have to get to love them as a romantic partner.
Okay, in your past experiences, who says I love you first? Like
I've
obviously
never said I love you first.
We're straight, so it's guy and girl, but like guy or girl.
I've never been in a relationship.
Would you prefer he say it first or you say it first?
I wouldn't really care.
You would say I love you first?
If I felt it, then I think I'd say it.
Even if you weren't sure he would say it back?
I mean, if it was in a trusted relationship, I would say
like, everything's going well, you've been together for the required month and a
half. A month and a half, that's established.
You love him, would you say it? Even though you're, like, unsure if he would necessarily say it back.
Like, if I can... Because I feel like actions speak louder than words sometimes. So I feel like if the actions he's doing is
How do you know he's not lying to you?
Well, I don't know that. Because I would just, trust, and then I guess, I don't know. I wouldn't really mind saying it first. It just depends, I don't know, on the situation.
So mature. So you always wait for them.
I will never say but like I don't trust, like, okay, for me to like trust you, like in the way of like I can like rely on you to like make me food when I'm crying at 11:30.
Yep.
Like for me to reach that point, like it takes a long time for me to reach that point.
Right.
So you think the guy usually says it first in your case just because you're slower to trust?
Yeah, and like I won't say something if I don't know. Like I will say, like I will tell the guy that I like him, knowing like I don't really care if they say it back, but like you're never sure if it's like gonna be like used against you at some point.
You don't care if someone says it back to you?
No.
That is super scary to me. Like if I
Okay.
told someone I loved them and they didn't say it back, that is so scary.
But
I
why?
mean, it is scary.
I mean, it's your feelings. You don't.
Yeah.
I know, like in theory it makes sense, and like my feelings aren't predicated off of theirs, but also I would feel so embarrassed.
But why embarrassed?
Why embarrassed?
Because you feel
it's so vulnerable, and then they don't express the same vulnerability.
Have you ever told a guy that you liked him, like I like you, and then they've been like, oh, I don't like you?
No.
Well, you're lucky.
You are.
Well, I also just don't say it unless I know for sure they're gonna say that.
No, but it's not like an issue though. Like, okay, so you don't like me. So what?
But also I feel like I don't catch feelings for guys unless I know that they like me. Like part of me liking them is predicated off them liking me.
Yeah.
Like I can't just like any random guy.
Yeah, I mean, getting indication that someone likes you back makes you like them more.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I mean, I've liked people who don't like me back, so.
Yeah, well, and you've told the person that you like that you've told the person that you like them, and they haven't given it, like, they haven't reciprocated that for you, and it's not an issue. It's just like, okay, well, whatever, like, now you know, like, my stance on it.
Yeah, I mean, when I've said it, I actually don't know, but the one time, like, a memorable time where I said it is when I fully thought that this guy, I didn't think that he liked me back, but I wanted to tell him, so I told him, but then it turned out he liked me back, and then we dated a little bit, and then it didn't really work out, but I mean, like, whenever I've said it, I've never had the expectation of them saying it back, but like, if they do, then that's a positive.
Yeah. So we're back.
Let's talk about procrastination, because that is what we did for around an hour and a half. Dinner, the program stopped working.
Yeah, and we came back from our dinner break.
Yeah, I made some carrot soup.
And some grilled cheese. Do you want to finish the conversation that we were having with Anna?
Yes, what were we saying? The most memorable time where I told a guy I've liked him was in the 10th grade, and I didn't expect him to like me back, but I just wanted to get it off my chest, so I decided to tell him that I liked him. And it turned out that we started dating because he liked me back, which was kind of shocking.
Slay!
But that also created a friendship fallout with my then best friend.
Because she's a bitch. Okay, listen to me. If you like a guy and you're not going to tell him because of a girl, like, unless it's because the other girl didn't like him.
Well, she did, but she never told me.
Well, that's fuck her.
Exactly.
Honestly.
And I told her that I liked the guy. She didn't say she liked him, and then she went behind my back. So
I think if you like a guy, you should always tell them, not even because, like, something good can come out of it, but just because, like, honestly, BFFR. Ew. But for real, like, it gives you, like, such a peace of mind when you tell them. Because, like, now it's none of your business anymore. Now you don't have to worry about it anymore. You just have to
deal with the
rejection or not rejection, because sometimes not rejection is also hard to deal with, let me tell you.
Getting not rejected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sometimes you want a guy to like you back, but when they actually do, it's hard for you to picture yourself in a relationship. Speaking from experience.
But I feel like maybe just some people don't see themselves in relationships. Maybe you're one of those people.
Like, for me, it's not that I don't see myself in relationships, it's that I don't see myself, like, taking care of another person. But, like, I wouldn't mind being in a relationship. I don't know, it's weird. Like, I don't know if it's that I'm, like, scared. I actually don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's quite odd. But yeah. What were we? Yeah, when it comes to telling a person that you like them or you love them, I'd say if it feels right for you, you should go ahead and tell them. Like, the moment that you start feeling it, like, what's the point of you not
Expressing the feelings. Yeah.
Because it's not something, like, if you feel like you hate somebody, obviously don't be like, I hate you. Like,
yeah.
you know, but if it's something nice, I always advocate for you to say something nice to a person.
Yeah. Stay positive, queen.
Okay, another question is advice on overthinking.
Okay, overthinking.
Yeah. So
I think that's a broad term. So
we should start by defining overthinking.
Yeah.
So overthinking, I would say, is thinking so much about a situation or something that you start to create, like, new meanings. You start to delulu yourself into new meanings.
Yeah.
About things that don't necessarily mean what you were making them up to be.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I feel like that's very much a definition for, like, not like romantic relationship, but like relationships like with people. But then also you can overthink about like school, or overthink about your life, like maybe your future, like you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, but
get used to you overthinking.
Yeah, it's the same definition though, because it's you not like, maybe you know in your future you're gonna do, for example, me into the performance studies, so I start to overthink and I'm like, well, I'm losing my time, I'm wasting my time doing this, or I'm like, I don't know if I even want to take like performance studies as a thing, but like that's me creating a problem from nothing.
Exist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Creating a problem that doesn't exist
is overthinking.
Is overthinking, for sure.
I think that should be our definition.
That's our definition. Okay.
So how do we keep ourselves from overthinking? That's a good one.
I think just realizing that everything is not as big of a deal as you make it seem to be. Yeah. And reeling yourself back in, especially here at UCU. I think a lot of people call it a bubble.
Yeah.
So I think we have to realize that it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I think, personally, I really like to think about how, like, my proportion in size, like, in relation to the proportion of everything in size, like, no, but, like, we're not even as big as an ant, like, if you look at, like, the solar system.
Yeah, no, we mean nothing.
We mean nothing. And honestly, that can be interpreted as really bad, because you're like, oh my god, my feelings mean nothing. But no, but I think we're way too obsessed with, like, leaving something behind when nobody's gonna remember anything that you do. Like, eventually people will forget Cleopatra. Like, I'm sure if I went to my youngest sister's class and was like, who's Cleopatra? Like, not everybody would be able to answer. So eventually,
that's a very random point, but very valid as well.
No, because what I'm saying is eventually everybody's gonna forget about what you do. So why would you keep overthinking it?
Exactly.
So you need to, like, put things into perspective.
Really, put things into perspective.
Yeah. I'd say also an advice for overthinking that I find is good is to take some alone time, which might seem like counterintuitive since you have more time to think. But, like, for me, when I feel like I'm really overthinking or when I feel like my anxiety is, like, really out of control, I like to take bike rides or walks. And you know, whether I do like walks, I usually like to do with people.
Mhm.
In my de Lula.
In the freezing cold.
And the free, because it's so nice. It's so
well,
nice. It depuffs your face.
It does.
It makes your circulation
gear
go
up,
a lot
though.
better. You have to gear up if you're gonna
In this
take my
temperature.
advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, gear up. Put a balaclava on. But that, and then just like listen to music and relax for a bit. You know, I know everything like seems really stressful right now.
Mhm.
Like I'm feeling it too, but like, so what if you fail a test? Like it doesn't really mean anything.
Who cares am I pretty if I fail my finals?
Exactly. Or something that I also really like to do before that I don't really do now because I don't have the time or like the energy, and I feel like, I don't know if it's because I've become more lazy or if it's because like I just can't, like my brain can't handle it anymore, but like I used to journal a lot and just like write down everything that I was thinking when I was overthinking.
Mhm.
But I don't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
But it's a good solution.
Yeah, I think journaling is really good to get it off your mind, especially if you don't have someone that you can go to talk to.
Yeah, or rant to your friends.
Yeah,
I do that a lot.
I hear it.
You rant to me too.
I do, but like if there's a problem about anything in my life, I always go to my mom.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have the option to
Yeah.
go to a close family
If you have an
member,
output that you could put your
or
stuff
maybe
in.
like a close friend that you've had for a long time, so they know everything about you and like what you've gone through your whole life, like your whole background.
Yeah.
That can help a lot and put things into
Yeah.
perspective, because you know a year ago you were not doing what you're doing now.
Exactly.
And you were not thinking about the things you're thinking now, and I don't know, maybe that puts
Yeah.
things into perspective a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that it's hard though, because for me, I haven't really had friends that have been like my lifelong friends. Like
Yeah.
a couple of actually one of my friends, we were really close friends when we were like 5 until we were 10, but then we stopped talking for like 5 years or so, just because like we got into different friend groups at school and whatever. So I feel like nobody really like knows me in the sense that nobody like that's why I say like take time for yourself. I feel like there's different ways of approaching it, because like if you have people that you can go to, you should go to them. But for me, I feel like the only person that actually like knows me is myself. So it would be hard for me to go ask like for like right now I do, like for example with you I go all the time, but like of course there's things that you don't like fully understand. Like when I'm like really anxious, like I don't expect you to like understand like what's going like through my
but
mind,
also
you know?
sometimes there's not even a reason, there's just overwhelming like emotions overall, and there's no target reason, so there's actually no reason that you're sad, but you're just sad, and that's fine, but you just need to take time for yourself and you cry it out. Cry it out. Good, you know,
crying is really cathartic,
because after you cry you feel so much better. Well, sometimes. The goal of crying is to feel better afterwards because you've let all your emotions out. But I think that restricting yourself from crying is worse than crying, for sure.
Well, as a person who restricts herself from crying,
right?
Except when I have like really like, cause like I feel a lot of feelings, but I just like repress them enough to like have them build up and eventually just like break down.
Right, and that's not healthy.
Well, I mean, it's working well for me, as well as not eating and as well as not sleeping. I'm really scared that my parents are going to listen to this.
I am also scared for you. I live with her, by the way, and, you know, I try to accommodate as much as I can.
She's amazing.
I feel like also sometimes when you're overthinking, talking to someone you don't even know is also
that's really good, too.
Because they could get a new perspective.
Yeah, like an outsider
perspective as well.
Yeah, for example, in intro week when I was going through like my breakup and stuff, I talked to a guy, and then he like gave me his perspective, and you know, eventually like now he's a good friend of mine, but like he obviously wasn't in
at the time.
Yeah, we just like went to our living room and we like talked for like a bunch of hours.
If you probably know who that you are, so we love you.
We love you. We do. We miss you, even though we saw you yesterday. But I feel like his perspective was really helpful for me, even though like he probably just was like he didn't really hear that much. I don't know.
Yeah, I think getting a objective perspective is good in situations.
It grounds everything again. we just had our second break of the evening to go to the arts room and hang up the brand new UCU radio logo on the UCU radio and Boomerang office. So come and look at it. So we were procrastinating.
But we went there and we asked the ArtsCo people.
Shout out ArtsCo.
Shout out ArtsCo, and we asked them what kind of advice they need.
And they said they needed help with procrastination.
Yes, because someone said that they're a serial procrastinator and they need help how to get motivation.
So we feel the same way about ourselves. I mean, at least I do.
Mm-hmm.
I procrastinate a lot. I mean, I do a lot of my work on time. I do all my work on time. But, like, what I mean is I start most of the stuff I want on time, but then there's stuff that I just can't get myself to do, even if I tried to. And sometimes it's really hard, and sometimes I feel like again, this it relates to the second subject that the ArtsCo people wanted us to talk about, which is how to get yourself out of a slump. And so I feel like I've been in a slump. I haven't gone shopping in 1 month, which is actually kind of worrying. And I feel like it's getting a lot harder for me to get my work done. But I feel like it's also, like, kind of justifiable because...
Finals week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's, like, finals, not even midterms anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, we're, like, super burnt out already.
Yeah.
And, personally, I have 4 essays in 1 exam. That's impossible. 3 essays in 1 exam.
I mean, but you're like halfway done with Rick.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting along. I think that when you're trying to get at procrastination, just think about how much, think about how much easier life would be if you started something. So if I don't want to start an essay, I'll start by outlining it, and then the next day maybe I'll go back, add an introduction. And even that much helps me when it's the deadline day and I feel like I have nothing, but I actually have something to base my work off of.
Yeah, I do that too, but I feel like for procrastination, like for me, I don't know, for example, I have a hard time waking up in the morning, but like I try to wake up at 8 every morning. And so I feel like that's like if you start your day off right, you won't procrastinate as much. Like what I'm saying is, like, if you start by doing things, like, you have to get stuff done. Like it's again about the overthinking. Like, it's just don't think about it. Like, just get it done. Yeah. Sit down and write, and whatever comes out. Like, it doesn't even have to be good. You'll edit it later. But just whatever comes out is good enough.
Yeah. I think also something that I do and something I did today is healthy procrastination. So I decided to clean the unit.
Nothing is healthy if you put it off long enough.
Yeah, if you put it off long enough, I agree. But I feel like when you just really can't get things done, try to do things in a different way. So maybe you'll meal prep, maybe you'll clean, maybe you'll catch up with your friends. Like, that's also important things in your life, not just academics is important.
Yeah.
So,
the
balance.
Yeah, but I think weeks is, like, finals week, you can't have a balance. Like, no, because I try to go to the gym and I try to work out, but I don't, like, sometimes I just don't have time to, like, do stuff that I want to do in comparison to the stuff I need to take to study or take, So sometimes you cannot have a balance. Like,
maybe not as much of a balance, but I think you can always have a balance if you try hard enough. Like, if you truly prioritize things over another thing.
What?
So I prioritize my food over work. So
I prioritize work over food.
See? So we prioritize different things.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that something is less productive than the other thing, because productive is not just...
Yeah, productivity isn't really objective.
Yeah.
Like, it can, like, efficiency, sorry.
I think there is healthy procrastination. I think doing things that make you happy is healthy procrastination. As long as you're, like, of course there's an extent to this. So if you're watching Netflix all day in bed and you're calling that healthy procrastination, that is not healthy procrastination. But if you take breaks from studying, it's like 20 minutes of Netflix or whatever you need, I think it's healthy.
Yeah,
I think
get
putting
that.
yourself first before getting assignments done is healthy procrastination.
I don't agree.
You don't want to put yourself first.
No. I put my work for... Haven't you seen it? We've lived together for 4 months already.
Yeah, but...
I get my work done, whatever the cost.
Right. if I really can't do an assignment, I won't do it.
What do you mean?
Like, if I'm crying and I'm in bed and it's 8 p.m. and it's due at 12, if I can't do it, I'm gonna sleep.
I won't.
Yeah, I see. That's where we differ in perspective.
Yeah. I'll prioritize my work over anything. It's like, yeah. So, my advice for procrastination is nothing has to be perfect. We do not matter. Like, no, like, for real. Like,
yeah, in the grand scheme of things, what you that assignment does not matter at all.
Exactly.
But, try your best still.
Yeah. You should try your best.
And maybe find the root of your procrastination, and if it is perfectionism or something, try to find someone that can peer review your essays.
Exactly.
Someone who can help you out. Or if you have doubts on even how to start the essay, I'm sure...
ChatGPT.
Yeah, or your teacher. I mean, they're
Yeah.
here for a reason.
Yeah.
So...
Or, like, just lean on your friends more, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully that helped with some of
The advice you needed.
Yeah.
And if it didn't, I hope our life insights gave you hope that it can still be worse.
and entertainment.
Entertainment, at least.
Yeah, at least.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Chrysler. I'll see you again next week for our boardcast again with the whole UCU radio board. Yeah, tune in and make sure that you tune in during January and February.